my social media. And on Instagram, there's lots of ads now about sort of put your phone down or disappear for 30 days and learn these different AI courses. So they'll just say, tired of doom scrolling? And it's almost like a wake-up call. I'll be just there. And then third or fourth thing I look at, there's this ad for doom scrolling. And then, thank you, Krishna. Yes, we have to manage this desire of staying connected, because innocently enough, you just want to check out what happened, who posted what, some of your friends. Most of the time, it's all connected to Krishna consciousness, many people you know, but then surrounding it, there's so many other things, and it becomes like a hook, and then we lose time, and we need our time for Krishna conscious practice. So yes, Krishna said, even one sense upon which the mind focuses on, like a strong wind can blow a boat on the lake, of course. So whatever the mind focuses on can take away the intelligence of even a person who's trying to control his mind and senses. So that's like that. This is designed for that, really. It's just to take us away from wherever we are into whatever is being presented here. I share, not so embarrassing, but in reality, you know, it's happened to me. At some point I was preaching in ISKCON Swaziland. We started a center there. And one of my cousins, his whole thing is like backing up music. He's got terabytes of music and movies, and he catalogs them. And so people come to his place. You can literally think of any music or any movie, and he's got it somewhere. So at some point, one of his 500 gig hard drives was looking like it will crash. So then, hey, cuz, you know, can I use your hard drive to back up my... Okay, yes, I gave it to him. Now I had 500 gigs of, you know, films and whatever he had backed up there. And curiosity killed the cat, they say. First it's like, let me just, you know, maybe I'll check out some classic films. There was like the most miserable, maybe month of my ashram life, because now at the end of the evening, you have to budget to go and see if there's anything exciting. And what happens is that time waits for nobody. The Mangalati is always at 4:30. It's not moving. But when you go to sleep, that's up to you. So now, you know, and at that time we discovered there's also these things called series. There wasn't series when I joined the temple. So it so happened that in there I found some series that just kind of hooked the brother. And it wasn't season 1, there was season 2, and oh my God, you know, at Bangalati, it's just my eyes are red, burning, just because I slept like midnight or something. So, you know, that misery, when I see people talking about binge this, binge watching that, and it's just, don't do it as a devotee. Because you just lose stamina for the real thing. And then when you are trying to chant Hare Krishna, guess what? When you close your eyes, the TV of your mind, full color and audio is there of whatever it is that you've been binge watching. It's now part of your system. Yeah, misery. But it's like when you're there, it's all, you know, it's easy. You might have been tired. As soon as you go there, it's audio visual, people go to school to score these movies and whatever. They have the right music at the right time. So you're hooked and now you're up. Now it's even difficult to fall asleep. So in the age of Kali, although we are in the association of devotees, I'm in the temple. But now the glory of your own room also, very dangerous for devotees when you're not mature. Now you're in your own space there, everyone, you are there. So it's real, and we are losing a lot of devotees. One sannyasi was telling me, like in India, ashrams are packed, generally. It was a whole, but then these mobile networks started competing on data packages. Where was that? We go to India, 1 gig a day, 2 gigs a day, they can give you. So it's like, paradise. But this 1 gig a day meant that each of these people has access to the internet, and there's a whole world of the internet which is dangerous, especially for celibates. So much porn addiction comes. So the man is there, he's following the program, but he's getting some other association. So then lust becomes just a dominating factor. And after some time, they have to just find some excuse, some way, visit home and never come back. So this is the tyranny of lusty desires. That they just take over. They take over. So it's a dangerous thing. It's enough of those stories for now. Then we want to upgrade at least to goodness. In goodness, the system is, let's say, it's like Singapore is famous for its meritocracy. That we honor you, we give you the position based on your abilities. You are able to do the job well, we don't look at what political party or whatever it may be. So there's a system of then hierarchy there. People are placed on the hierarchy of leadership, of governance, based on their aptitudes. So in a similar way, our desires in the mode of goodness, one has the ability to grade the desires according to how important they are, and one can prioritize and then work or direct their lives based on the order of importance. So we'll just do one revision. We'll go back to the tyranny of desires. We didn't do our Bhagavad Gita. So we have to get Krishna's association. So we'll find, for that, we can look at the 3rd chapter. I think it's text 37. Yes. Chapter 3, text 37. There's the mic. Who's reading? You can distribute the mic, but make it yourselves, whoever asks for it. Or you should get one which is offline, Gita base. I call it Gita base, it works without offline.
What's the verse again, sir?
337.
Just
There's also the book, yeah, we can keep an extra Bhagavad Gita around here. Just extra. Gita, you found it? No.
There's a green.
The
the Supreme Personality of God had said, "It is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world."
Then there's one line in that perfect. Can you maybe just 3 lines into it? Prabhupada explains.
When a living entity comes in contact with the material creation, his eternal love for Krishna is transformed into lust in association with the mode of passion. Or in other words, the sense of love of God becomes transformed into lust, as milk in contact with sour tamarind is transformed into yogurt.
So again, to that point, we are saying that originally our desires are pure and Krishna conscious and good. Well, there's love for Krishna there, but when we are in contact with the mode of passion, then that sense of love of God is transformed into lust, meaning I think I'm the body, therefore for my enjoyment or those that are connected to my body like that, I'm lust. And Krishna says this is the all-devouring sinful enemy of everyone, devouring. So back to goodness, we will look at 1830, chapter 18, text 30, which allows us to understand the value of the mode of goodness, which can then help us to order our desires and therefore make progress.
O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought to not be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness.
Beautiful verse, huh? We should understand what is to be feared, what's not to be feared, what's binding, what's liberating, and especially what is to be done and what's not to be done. So, understanding that is able to make this type of discrimination is in the mode of goodness.
Yes. Is it
Nimm das Mikro. Johannes, wenn du so ein bisschen hin und her reichst, wäre super.
Yeah. That there are things to be not to be done and things to be feared is still a concept for me, which feels like when you're very much liberated or awake, you don't need to fear anything. But this is this type of passion also bewildering the mind to no, you can stand this.
Okay. So, because it says one gets to understand what's to be feared and what's not to be feared, this is not necessarily the fear caused by ignorance. Ignorance because if we consider it's dark, there are no lights, then you don't know if there's something harmful around, so then you have fear because fear comes because you have no awareness. But this means you could say caution. You know what will be good for you and what will be bad for you. So, just like it said, a Vaishnava is asat syanga tyag eri Vaishnava acha. The behavior of a Vaishnava is that he gives up the association of non-devotees. So that means he has a healthy fear or a paranoia for materialistic association. It is not a crippling fear of not knowing what he should do with himself, but it's because he understands this is positive, it's good for me, therefore he has almost like an aversion to it. So I think just the word, not fear that it's crippling or paralyzing.
When I was in England, sorry. Just on this, when I was in England, I worked with a lot of different parents who were alcoholics and different. Often it was the men who were alcoholics, but I worked in particular with two ladies One who was a former alcoholic, and the other who was still an alcoholic. And because generally in outside society to drink is okay. Hardcore drugs, I mean, it's so prevalent now, but it's still considered okay, we don't go there. But it was such a deep experience for me that it made me understand, oh my goodness, how does it go? You wait, these people woke up and immediately they reach for the alcohol bottle. Then the whole day goes in a phase, and of course it's like Akila Prabhu mentioned with his withdrawal symptoms. When they're not drinking, then they're shaking and shaking. Then they become violent if they don't get what they need. Everything is dependent just on that bottle of alcohol. And it was such an experience, and I was like, wow, I was like, this is like just to get into the psyche, because it was there to support the family. I wasn't there to make a judgment. I was there to try to support. Just in this understanding that one day these people who led an ordinary, maybe even spiritual life, got so much tuned in. Like you said, this example of this devotee. What was that? What was it inside? We say it's the illusion. We go for it's illusion. This element of intoxication that we fall. Is it that we fall into? This is sort of running into that the reality is to a part where they cannot take, so you enter into this. Anyway, this intoxication just was so deep that it was enough to say, okay, it's enough. And even a gambler, I'm still in contact with the family who's gambler, because we have this as one of the 4 R's, right? And like, who has a problem with gambling? You buy the odd ticket. This person who destroyed his whole life, he was a famous business person, he had everything. This mentality that one time I will win, one time I will win. He lost his house, all of his money, everything, until to this day he doesn't have a bank account, because if he does, he'll just use it. So there was enough here. Sorry, I was a bit long.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yes, it takes over.
So
It takes over. Yeah. There's a family of devotees I know. The husband wasn't such a devotee. The wife, such a nice devotee. Gambling problems. One day they were just the persons from the High Commissioner, Dean's office, someone would come to tell them that they're being evicted. They're from Kinross in Kumara. Yes, what starts innocently enough, like now, gambling is called gaming.
Finally.
There's like a rebrand. Because there's all this, watch out for gambling, gambling addiction. No, let's just now call it gaming. So people who come in, just, we're going for some online gaming. Yes.
It's even sport.
Yeah, sports gaming. Yeah. Yeah. When others go there to watch and just are anxious, is my team winning or not? There are others who it's so much at stake. Who wins? You are there, you see people fighting and punching each other after. You think it's just frustration from my team lost, but no, the man had put a lot of money behind the team, so he's lost money. So it's crazy. Like we devotees see World Cup, this, that, this. It's just tournaments going on, and whoever will win, it's all in just, it's nice, sport, innocent, but no. It's a lot of gambling behind all these sports. That's why the competitions go on, because there's another economy that's running parallel to this gambling game. So we can see how the regulative principles are actually freeing us from the problems that come with these. People feel like, oh, you're not allowed to do this. Jadweta Maharaj was asked, so being a monk, what did you have to give up to become a monk? He said, suffering. And the person was shocked, what? I had to give up suffering. Now it's my go-to also sometimes. It's like, people, oh, what did you have to give up? No, I had to give up suffering. And all the time, they're shocked. Yeah, we don't want suffering. So you mean, this what you're doing is, you give, they think you are losing out on something. But you are losing out on the thing that they also don't want, which is suffering. So yes, the mode of goodness is more illuminating. It is said to be the springboard upon which, or the launch pad for transcendence for spiritual life. Because then there is clarity. You know what's to be done, what's not to be done. You know what to avoid, what will bind me and what will liberate me. Therefore, you see also our activities in Krishna consciousness are centered around this Brahminical culture, which means a culture governed by the mode of goodness. This terror that we feel in the beginning, some of us want to get up early. It's like, oh my God. We like chanting, but like why at 4:30 should we start doing? Can't we do it like around 9? And I used to wonder that it was so tough when I first joined. Sometimes falling asleep walking around Tulsi and you just crash into the wall. I never thought it would ever work out. This will end my whole spiritual life. But the mode of goodness, Brahma Muhurta, we're getting up. The deity department, cleanliness, timeliness. This mode of goodness is where spiritual life can begin to take hold in the consciousness. So also then when the desires are informed by goodness, they are ordered and one can have proper priorities. And from there then we want to create harmony. When there's harmony, means the different departments of a country or institution are all properly centered around the vision or the mission of the country or company, then great productivity or profits are made and there's progress. So for us, it is said, Smatavya Satatam Vishnu Vismatavyo Najatuchit. Save Vidi Nisedas Yu Etayo Eva Kimkara. Padma Purana is saying that Krishna is the source of everything. Prabhupada, Krishna or Vishnu is there. So one must always remember Krishna and never forget him. And he said all other vidis or injunctions, regulations of the scriptures should become kinkaras, servants of this one who always remember Krishna, never forget him. The same thing said twice. Huh? If you always remember, is there need to say never forget? But it's just like good poetry to emphasize. So when that is established in the devotee's life, then everything is informed by this. How is this activity going to help me to remember Krishna? These are the first two aspects also of surrender. There is anukulyasa sankalpa and pratikulyasa vajana. So anukul means favorable. One has a favorable disposition. This is favorable to Krishna consciousness, I accept it. And one rejects those things which are practical, unfavorable to Krishna. So this is also how we begin our surrender. That we even assess our desires, we manage our desires based on this principle. And it can be scary. I remember when I first heard this, you can try to think of it now. If, say, from today, as we leave this temple room, I will only have these two modes of operation. Everything that I want to do, I assess, is this favorable for Krishna consciousness? or is this not favorable for Krishna consciousness? Just try to see what parts of our lives would have to fall away, and try to think, how much am I trying to hold on to that? No, just a little bit of Maya. It's not harmful. Just I need a little bit of time to do my things. Now, if I say if everything has to be favorable to Krishna consciousness, it's like, what's my life going to look like? And it's part of the journey of Krishna consciousness. So that the devotee is not supposed to now beat themselves up, oh no, I still have like some 40% there that is sort of, it's mixed. It's a little bit of whatever, and but I'm here. So yes, we are on a journey, and we want to finally, when surrender is really settled in, then naturally it becomes just like a standard consciousness. As soon as you see a situation, a person, a thing, you can assess it.
Yeah, I'm wondering how to balance this, like Krishna conscious desires and then materialistic ones that maybe you haven't really gotten over yet, and it's actually bad if you forcefully try to put them away when you're not ready, because then that will kind of actually cause like troubles like later on in your spiritual life, because you didn't deal with them properly and get over them in the correct and mature way.
Yes, it's an ongoing balancing act, and it's actually a question that most devotees, all of us, we have to always consider. So in a devotee's life, there must be a checks and balance system, which includes some counselors, there must be some seniors, there must be spiritual master, peers that are, friends, so that we are living our lives as authentically as possible, meaning we are clear about what desires are tugging at our hearts, and we're able to reveal them either to ourselves, writing down, journaling, searching your heart, what's there, and then what's pushing for prioritization, or what's becoming tyrannical, and then how to deal with it therapeutically in Krishna consciousness. This is Guyam Akyati preached in the 6 loving exchanges, revealing our hearts in confidence to a qualified person and getting some advice, so that our nature or our state of heart or consciousness, state of desires, are accommodated in the purification process of Krishna consciousness. So maybe let's try an exercise. One desire maybe that you could think of, that if I neglect now and just think, okay, I'm just going to be fully in bhakti or whatever it may come to bite me later. What would you do? What desire would you say that, like she's raising the point, there may be some materialistic desire, or it may be seen as such. In fact, most of these desires are just a redirection away from being what we call material desires. But then, yes, what could it be? One desire that if I don't face it now or deal with it now, it may later cause me problems.
Never eat sugar again.
What a medical.
that was theoretical, that was not practical.
Okay. Never eat sugar again, and then later on what happens? You're breaking into the Maha cabinet. Yes.
Yeah, marrying, I think, partnership is a big topic often.
Yeah, that's generally the elephant in the room. Like, I have sex desire, or I have desire for the opposite sex association, you know. And maybe right now also I'm loving single life, you know, it's sort of freeing, and I want to maybe just zoom in on that. And as life goes, some days I'm more like just, it would be good, you know, just to have someone to hold my hand, look me in the eye, you know, tell me it's going to be okay. Or, some days it's just like, nah, Bhagavatam told me this is all just a deep dark well. Watch out. So it's analyzed like this Chakravarti Thakur, this Madhurya Kadambini, analyzes the internal journey of a devotee. And part of it is that there's this internal tug of war. And some days I'm very renounced. I just want to shoot straight to Goloka. I don't need all these other things. And then other days it's, no, you know, if you have a good wife, she can help you cross over the ocean of material existence. Or if you have a dharmic husband, it becomes like a shelter, a fortress. And so the devotee is wondering to try and get married now, or that let's postpone it another few years. Or then if I postpone it, what if then, for the ladies generally, okay, maybe I get older now, or will I become less desirable or something? Or you're looking on the other side, these men don't look like they're mature enough, or like ready for commitment. Or the brahmacharis are just thinking, nah, my friends, what are they going to say? You know?